Good morning. This is Rob from GRAF. And as promised, this week we're going on to a slightly different subject, a bit about topography and geology and geography and climate. And this week I'm going to be discussing the Great Lakes of Africa. When people talk about the Great Lakes, they think of North American continent. They think of Canada and the United States. And the Great Lakes region in that is up in the north, obviously on the border with Canada. You've got Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Lake Ontario. And they account for 21% of the world's fresh water is held within those lakes. That creates a surface area of 940,000 square miles. And there's over 5,400 cubic miles of fresh water held within those lakes. They allow a transport system to transport goods and commodities around that area. Chicago is, of course, a big trading center for soft commodities, grains. Detroit was a big motor city. So those lakes are used to move the raw materials around to export from America and manufacture and export around America. But Africa also has its Great Lakes region, Africa style. Over in the east of Africa, you've got the Great Lakes. They're spread across several countries: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, the DRC, Malawi. And they account for a greater amount of the world's fresh water, 25%. That's 7,400 cubic meters of fresh water. They've got incredible biodiversity, both within the lakes themselves, but also in the land around it. An interesting fact is 10% of the world's fish species are within the Great Lakes of Africa. And because of the high altitude, you end up with a fantastic climate. It's quite temperate, even when you take into account its position in the globe, where there should be incredibly high temperatures. The high altitude just brings those back under control and leaves a fantastic climate, an incredibly biodiverse climate, and an incredibly good climate for agriculture, especially when you think of the water availability. Obviously, in that region, the water doesn't magic out of thin air. It falls from the sky as rain. So you do have significant rainfall in those areas. From the Great Lakes region, you've got three great rivers following the water cycle and taking that water out to the oceans. In Democratic Republic of Congo, you've got the Congo River. You've got the Nile arising in Ethiopia, flowing through Sudan and also Egypt. We've discussed that before. And the dam project in Ethiopia and how it's causing a little bit of local unrest in Africa. And then you've finally got the Zambezi River, which flows down through Zambia and down to the coast. Nile River is #1 in the world for its length. The Congo is #9. And #2 for the amount of water it discharges into the ocean. The Congo is absolutely enormous. Wasn't able to find figures on discharge into the ocean for the Nile because I think there's so much irrigation use out of the Nile, very little actually managed to make it to the ocean. Zambezi, although massive, is #32 on the world's list of great rivers. So the whole region is an absolutely fantastic region because of the climate and the water availability. You've ended up with quite a large population of people, 107 million people. And across the different countries, the DRC, Malawi, Zambia, Uganda, Kenya, you've got this common language, Swahili. It's the most common language in the region. And there's common ethnic groups, although there's many, many ethnic groups within Africa and many tribes. So, where are the real Great Lakes in the world? You mentioned the Great Lakes and everyone thinks of North America, but hopefully now you'll realize that the real Great Lakes in the world, remember, they hold 25% of the world's fresh water, as opposed to the American Great Lakes holding 21%. The real Great Lakes in the world are in Eastern Africa. Any comments on this or any corrections? If I've got any of my statistics wrong, I'd be glad to know. Just drop a message below or send me a private message. Hope you enjoyed the slightly different subject this week, and I hope it educated you on something that you weren't aware of. Thanks for now.